Hello, Green Freedom Team. This is Shannon Bell, Norwex Independent Consultant, bringing you some training on how to create your own Norwex order form using Google Forms. So this is what mine looks like. I give this I share the link with all of my party guests. I don't actually use the Norwex shopping link. I like to deal with everybody individually. So the order form goes out, has my contact information. I collect the host's name, the customer name, email address, phone number, and mailing address, since that's everything that Norwex asks for. And then I give a little image on the shipping costs. And I ask them if they would like their order shipped to themselves or their host. I have some exclusive party packages that I offer. These are things that I actually got the idea for from consultant Megan Slate. She's an American consultant. So these are her images. They've just been changed to include Canadian pricing. So basically, they get some freebies when they order each of these packages. The Safe Haven 5, Safe Haven Package Plus. The level 3 is kind of is basically the Safe Haven 5 and the mop system together. And then the Just Add Water package, which is a Norwex package. So I just throw this into the order form as a way to remind them of the packages that are available. Underneath that image, I have them list all of their order items that they are interested in purchasing. It doesn't just have to be the level packages, it can be anything. So I've set it up for a long answer text for them to be able to add whatever it is they need. I then have the current month's specials for them to see. And I ask if they are interested in purchasing it if they qualify. So yes, please, no thanks, or I don't qualify. And then I also offer a bonus gift if they purchase $100 or more. Again, this image is from Megan Slate. So it did used to include one of the dishcloths, the netted dishcloths, but I removed that and I just offer the body and face cloth, the travel enviro, and the counter cloth. It does show the groupings, but it's only one of each of those items. So I don't qualify, and then they can choose which item they want. But I've also started including the different samples that Norwex offers, so they can decide to try one of the consumable samples if they like. So you do have to sign up for this in your back office. I ask if they want to add a print catalog for $1. And then I've started including this recently. Because I've never really pushed the donation aspect of it. There's always that spot where you can donate to our charitable program, the Norwex Foundation. So I started including this. They can donate $5, $10. I didn't include another amount, but I did include you can round my purchase up to the nearest dollar. I did this after I attended conferences here and I saw all of the different things that the money went towards. So I really wanted to make sure that I was doing what I could to encourage donations. And then I kind of throw in the whole host opportunity and I let them know that the host needs at least one friend to book their own shopping link or online presentation to get their full rewards. And I talk about what my hosts earn on average. Now I have a fancy little wheel here that I actually got the idea from fellow consultant Abby Sterling. So thanks Abby for this. And I basically give away one of these items on here if they book a party. I recently saw someone's form. I believe it was Megan Slate again. Originally I had, yes, I'd love to host, or no, not at this time, but I've since included some other options in here because not everybody is a black and white yes or no. So I wanted to kind of gauge where they were at. And then I have our starter kit information in here. And again, with some different choices for them to choose from rather than a yes or no. So this is all created in Google Forms. You can do whatever you want with it. It's very easy to do. So what you should maybe start off by doing, make sure you have a Google account. And then if you go right into Google, you can just search for Google Forms. first thing that shows up. Okay, and you can go to Google Forms. So when you go in there, it kind of brings you to this option here. You can start a new form. Then there's sometimes templates for you. So when I started doing this, I actually, I think I started to use a template, but you can start from scratch. So if we do that, blank form, this is where you can type in, I'm just going to write sample just so I know that this is not my real order form. And under form description, this is where I included my own personal contact information. So untitled question. I do not want this to be multiple choice. This is where I'm asking who their host is. So you'll see that it was already there. All I have to do is change in this drop down menu over here. I want it to be short answer. So who is your host? And people can write that. We want to make sure that we check off that this is required. And then I'm going to add the next question, and I want to know their contact information, so your name. And we want that to be, it actually auto-corrected itself to short answer when it kind of recognized what I was asking for. We're going to make that required. We're going to add again, and you basically do the same thing for address, email, and phone number. So I'm going to kind of skip that. And then we get into, maybe you want to include an image of some packages that you are offering. So you can change it from multiple choice. You have all of these different options. So multiple choice will only allow them to pick one option. Whereas if it's a check all that apply thing, you want to choose check boxes. So the only ones I actually use for this would be short answer, paragraph, multiple choice, and check boxes. But let's say I don't actually want this. Hang on a second. I don't want this to actually be a question. Let me delete this. I go back up to this question. Rather than adding a new question, if I click on this image button, then I can upload whatever image I would like. So let me go into my packages. So maybe this is where I want to show them the levels. And then I can include a little description if I want with instructions or just a reminder. But you'll notice there's nothing to fill out on this one. It's just an image. So that's all I did for this particular post. And then I can go ahead and add my question. Please list your items here, whatever you want. And this one I want to be paragraph because you want to give them lots of space to actually write what it is they are interested in purchasing here. And then let's say I wanted to do the host opportunity. So again, if I just add an image, it's not going to let me ask any questions. So I'm going to just do the add question. And I'm just going to, this is where you ask your host opportunity question. If I click on add an image, this is where I can add the current host rewards. And then we can add our options. And again, you can do multiple choice or check all that apply and make sure you choose the required toggle. Make sure that's on. If you make a mistake, you can delete it. So it's actually super simple to create your own Norwex order form. That's all there is to it. Again, if we go back to the one that I have, when it comes time to sharing this, so I want to share the link so that when people go to order, it's just very easy for them to click on the link. So you can click on send up at the top here and send via. I click the second one in here, which is the link. I choose to shorten the URL and then I copy it. And then I can paste it in my party, or I also have it available on my link tree. So that's very easy for people to go into my link tree and see the Norwex order form. When people have filled it out, I have it set up so that I will get an email when I get responses, and I believe that's in settings here, so you can collect emails. No, this isn't it. In any case, it's set up somewhere in there. When I go to, here we go, let's go to responses. So I have no responses. There we go, get email notifications for new responses. So all the responses show up in here, and I don't have any because what I do is when a party is done, or sometimes I run multiple parties at the same time, I collect all those responses. When the party is done, you'll see there is an option here to download the responses. So I download those, it goes to an Excel file, and I just name it, you know, September 10th parties, and so, or I list the last names of the hosts. So I can always have those responses, but I don't want them kind of junking up my actual form, because as you can imagine, it gets to be quite cumbersome going through all of those responses if you just kind of collect response after response. So the nice thing is you can organize it once you have those responses. There are 3 options when you are looking at them. You want to look at the individual responses. That will show you what each individual person answered on their form. And then I go back and I contact each person. I add all of their order information into the Norwex website, and then I basically send them screenshots of their order totals, and I collect their information. Now, one thing I do all the time, despite the fact that they've already answered me about hosting, I always ask them again. And I always start out with something like, can I convince you to host a party? I do all the work. You'll get a free gift. Your host gets rewards for it. So a lot of times they check off no on this form, and yet they may still say yes when they are asked directly. So this form is not the be-all end-all when it comes to contact with customers. I always make sure I continue to ask them. So I find this has been a really, really great option for me. It allows me to find out what it is they would like for their free gifts. If they order from the website, it just becomes that much harder to keep track of because there's lots of back and forth communication, and this just kind of puts it all in one place. I also like that I can remind them of the spend and get options. And you could also add in here the current monthly specials if you wanted to, just an image. So I find that it's working really, really well for me. The only thing I sometimes have an issue with is people sometimes get confused when they see this exclusive party packages. They think that on this line here, they can only indicate whether they want a package or not. They don't necessarily read all the instructions and recognize that they can add all of their order in this spot. But that opens up the line of communication on Messenger, which I love, because otherwise the party can be very informal. So that's it. Please let me know if you have any questions. I am happy to help. You're welcome to pause through this video and kind of copy the format that I've used. All of the images come from the Norwex resource for specials and so on. And you can kind of tweak it based on what works for you. I did add this image myself. I just can't remember how I did it. When you first create the form, it does give you an option to add that image from your computer. So it's similar to adding a Facebook banner. That's all. Again, this is Shannon Bell. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to help.